Hello everyone and welcome to the 20th Hammer tutorial of the version 2 series. This tutorial will apply to all Source Engine games. I will be using Counter-Strike Global Offensive to complete this tutorial. Today we will be adding function rotatings to our level. A function rotating is just a brush that spins along an axis that you tell it to spin along. They can cause damage if the player were to obstruct them, and they can also emit a noise while they are moving. They're a fairly simple entity to create, and let's go ahead and hop to it now. First thing we're going to do is select our texture that we want to apply to it, and then press Shift B and create a brush where we want the object to live. I'm going to put two little blades here. Now with these two brushes created, press Control T to tie them to an entity and change their class to function rotating. Now that they're a function rotating, we need to take a look at the flags. The first and most important flag is start on. Without this, they will start stationary and they won't spin unless they receive an input to tell them to start spinning. So usually you want that to be on. Reverse direction will make them spin the other way. They automatically spin on the Z-axis, meaning these are going to spin within the confines of this circle here. If you want them to spin on the X or Y axis, just check the flag that you want. ACC and DCC will make the rotating accelerate and decelerate when you change its speed, and this is dictated by the friction property in class info. Fan pain, I haven't figured out what it does. It's supposed to enable damage, but that seems to be enabled by default. And not solid will make the brush not solid. Pretty self-explanatory. The last three are just the sound radiuses. You usually keep it at large. Now with the start on flag checked, we're just going to click apply, close out of that, and compile and see what it looks like in game. Alright, here we are in game, and when we turn around we see these are already spinning. That's how easy it is to create something that spins in game. You can even ride it too. Now if we want to do some more advanced things with it, like make it speed up and slow down, we can go ahead and do that now. Looking at the class info here, we're going to make this accelerate and decelerate just by using those ENT fire console commands. Now, the max rotation speed is named max rotation speed because this is the maximum that it will rotate in degrees per second. Right now it's set to 100, and by default it will automatically use the full value of the max rotation speed when it spawns. So if I set this to 300, it's going to rotate at 300 degrees per second. If we go in game and we ENT fire function rotating, and we do set speed, it's going to have us use a decimal value between 0 and 1, where 1 is the max speed of what it's already spinning at, and 0 is stopped. So if I were to set this to 0.5, it's now spinning at 50 degrees per second. So when you set speed, it's basically a percentage with a decimal value, where 1 is 100% and 0.5 is 50%. You can't go over. Just remember that. So if you were to set this to like 4,000, it's still not going to do anything. You need to change the max rotation speed for it to go any faster. If you want the brush to do damage to a player, you just add that to the blocking damage here. Do note that this is extremely fast, and if you set the value to even 5, it'll kill the player in about half a second. The rotating wave, if you set this value, it will automatically play this sound. I'm just going to set it to a fan sound. Oh. If we use the accelerate and decelerate flag with the friction value here, if we set the friction to 50%, and let's actually speed this up a bit, set it to 400, apply, compile, and we'll take a look at this in game. You see it's already spinning faster because it's at 400 degrees a second. And if we tell this guy to stop, see it slows down because it's using the accelerate and decelerate function. If we tell it to start, it's going to slowly ramp its speed up, which is a great feature. And it should also do that if we set speed to a lower value. It slowly ramped its speed down to be 10% of the total value, which is totally an awesome thing about this entity. And the sound is just faintly humming in the background there because it's a looping wave file. So that's pretty much the basics of getting a function rotating into your level. There's some more advanced things that you can do with it, but most of it is playing around and learning the entity yourself. If you have any questions, please use my contact information in the description below to send me an email, as that's the easiest way that I will actually respond. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with version 2 tutorial series, and happy mapping!